What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Twisted Life of TV. I am Poetry. You are here for another recap and review. This is of The Handmaid's Tale. This is season 6, episode 8, Exodus. I told y'all we moving right along. I know I've been delayed with these videos, but we're gonna get them out to you. If you are going to join the live broadcast of The Handmaid's Tale season finale, join me in the Lifers Lounge over on the Discord channel. On the video I posted earlier today, there is a link. Use that link in order to sign up to be part of this server. There's no charge to you. It's free. You don't need your own platform. All you need is a Discord account, and you sign up for that for free. I need you to sit your butt down. See, I usually don't let my dog in the room. Sit it down. Okay. 2, if you want to shop with me at www.survivebeauty.com, which is my skincare line, you could do so, and I will donate 50% of your proceeds to the tornado disaster relief in St. Louis, Missouri. If you leave tips, 100% of those tips go. If you leave a straight donation, 100% of that donation also goes as well. If you wanted to try to donate to St. Louis in any other form or fashion, please contact local organizations in the area. FEMA's not coming. The government's not helping. We are helping ourselves, and being that I am from that community, I'm trying to do what I can, even though I don't live there any longer. If you are a person who is thoroughly in love with this show, that you can't see the issues or problems, or you don't like people talking bad about it, log off of this video, because I am about to talk bad about this episode. I'm going to tell you right out, the commanders get killed. There you go. Spoiler alert. And I can tell you how we got there, and I don't know or understand. This was one of the stupidest episodes that I have seen in this franchise history. It's almost at the point to make me say, fuck the Testaments. Because if they're using the same writers on the Testament that they are using on this show right now, this season, they are going to lose me. They're going to lose me. Now, I did see that there was the original writer of The Handmaid's Tale from seasons 1 through 3. He quit the show, this show, in order to write for the Testaments. So hopefully we're going to have some hope, and that show is going to be better carried out than what they're doing this season. This is utterly ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. We opened up with the ladies. They're getting ready. Because remember, they was in that room praying in the Red Center. They're getting ready. They're adorning themselves in their battle gear. The red cloaks that the handmaids always wore. The cloaks were designed to keep them separated from other people. The cloaks so red, because I talked about the color of the red in the cloaks before. The red was meant to mock the blood that they wanted them to be dipped in. June and Moira, they were stitching pockets into the red cloaks, to the red dresses and the cloaks for the handmaids to have. Aunt Phoebe had just wheeled them down a whole rack of freshly dyed red dresses and cloaks. And I was like, what happened to the handmaids that were not down with the revolution? Because they said earlier that they believed that all the handmaids were on board, they would be down, and they wouldn't tell nobody because they were trained to be quiet. But what happened to handmaids like of Glenn? What happened to handmaids like of Matthews? I know of Matthews died, but handmaids like them. There were surely others out here like them that would not be happy that they're trying to tear Gilead down. Are they not considering those folks? They just want us to believe that all these handmaids have now changed their mind and they all fed up. Even the Red Center, the of Glens and the of Matthews, they came from there. So there's got to be more coming through there as well. This, unfortunately, to me, is unfucking believable. June, she was saying that the color red was to mark them, okay? But they must have forgot that the color red also stood for rage. I'm eating barbecue french fries, so be patient with me. Now, I know some of y'all don't like it. I'm going to talk about the show. I asked too many questions. But this is why my pastor put me out of church. Real talk. I just throw my hand up in the middle of service like, wait, excuse me. That ain't what the book say. And I got told not to come back or not to raise my hand no more. Anyway, they filed into this big cathedral, color by color. Handmaids, eco-families, the commanders, their wives. And speaking of the commanders and their wives, one in particular walked hand in hand down the aisle with his pregnant wife. There would be Nick and Rose, the daughter and the son-in-law of the groom. Now, June, she caught a glimpse of him as they entered. Couldn't keep her eyes off of him. But it didn't look like she had rage in her eyes. It didn't look like she had envy in her eyes. It was like a longing, mixed with a little bit of shame, but not much. Well, Nick takes his place upon the podium. I thought he was about to be the best man. Then Wharton strolls on in. Why they don't have a march for the men? I seen a lot of videos on TikTok and IG Lady, not TikTok, on IG Lady because I'm not on TikTok, with the grooms coming in and they all dancing to Bruno Mars. I seen a lot of those videos. Usually the men don't have a march. One of my supervisors, her husband came in to New York because he's from New York. He came into there, but usually men don't have a march. And it's so awkward to see them just walk on in down the aisle. Like they don't even have like a marching walk, nothing like that. But he strolled on in, and now Serena is coming, and everybody must stand up. As traditional in the wedding, everybody stand up when the bride comes in. She had on a baby blue dress with a full skirt, princess cut at the bottom, and it was covered in pale blue butterflies, silk chiffon. The upper half was very matronly. I wouldn't say hideous because I liked the color, but it was matronly. The top looked tableclothish though, like it didn't fit her. The material was kind of off, like it didn't go with the bottom. And Nick, like I said, I thought he was the best man. Nick was the doggone officiant. Shocked me. Now, when June and Moira was hiding the knives and the cloaks, they were sewing in little pockets in the sides of each cloak. However, when they pulled the little switchblades, they pulled them out from under their sleeves. I was like, was that the cue to begin? Did I miss something? How do we know we're getting started? Well, she passed her knife down, and all of a sudden you saw a chain of knives being passed. Where they all come from? They was all hanging under Moira and June's red dresses and cloaks. None of that made no noise. It didn't clickety clackety 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 clank. None of these switchblades tap against each other. And I'm like, and ain't nobody noticing the movement. They all like this. Ain't nobody noticing this movement. It's guardians back there. It's aunts back there that's not Phoebe. So somebody ended up dropping one of them. When they dropped it, it caused a little stir, called the guardian to come around. And so they had to stop passing them around. So Moira said, plan B. And it's so funny to me that they, just this morning, when the video I did this morning, I said they never have a plan B. But apparently they got a plan B. And that plan B is to continue to pass these knives out at the reception. Whole lot of knives. So, the wedding. Other than that, it went off seemingly without a hitch. So on to the reception. The aunt, Phoebe, she had the handmaids of the posted handmaids and the rest of the handmaids to turn around and greet each other. One of them turned around, looked June square in the face. June looked back to her, and they nodded each other up. I don't know what the fuck that meant, okay? You down? I'm down. She's speaking for all the rest of them? I guess so. Okay, so they greeted each other, and then they exchanged that nod between them. And now Serena came out again to do her wedding dance. Her reception dress, it looked very plain, but it was still more elegant than the actual wedding dress to me. But her and Wharton, they come out here and they do their first dance. As they're doing the first dance, then the other commanders and their wives got on the dance floor as well. I think they was doing a waltz, you know what I'm saying? She gently placed her 4 fingers on his shoulder and his other foot in his hand, and then he guided her into the movements and everything. Naomi, she was standing there looking annoyed as hell. She wasn't dancing with Lawrence at all. She was annoyed she had to even beat her. Bale and his wife, they were clapping like, okay, let's get this over with. Let's do it. Okay, we got a handmaid to go back to the crib and torture. And then the handmaids were able to pass their switchblades forward. Now, the handmaids for the Red Center was in the back, and the handmaids that's posted in the front. And they start passing the switchblades forward. Mind you, it's an aunt standing here. It's guardian standing here too. But they pass these switchblades forward. How these handmaids know to put their hands behind their back to take them? I don't know, child. They didn't rehearse this, but it seemed to go a bit smoother. Okay, after the dance, Serena Joy notices that Lawrence is just sitting there alone, looking rather nervous. He said he wasn't nervous, but Serena could tell. However, she thought that maybe he was just nervous about the future of New Bethlehem. So she reassured him her main goal was still aligned with his. Then Belle came over and teased that Janine is now somehow is his handmaid, you know. It used to be, he was like, you know, your handmaid is now my handmaid. That's what he was doing. But then he said his daddy got the best one in the country because she's super fertile. Apparently she popped out twins with the first time that they had their ceremony. So I wasn't sure why June and Moira was posted up in the front of all the handmaids. But Sabrina approached them and they quickly scurried to the back, unseen. I would have noticed them. Everybody moving forward and they moving back. I would have noticed them. Serena thanks everybody for their service, you know. Assure them that things are going to get better for them. That things are going to change. And tells them about the goodness of the handmaid she once had being June. And how she could have been nicer. How June could have been nicer to her. And I think nice is too nice of a term, Serena. Really, I do. Serena say, I was a bitch. You know, she was a bitch too. We went back and forth at each other for years. Y'all didn't just go back and forth. They tried to kill each other. Okay. But now, Serena says, we are besties. Okay. It was a long road to get her, but look at us now. She forgive me and everything. Then Rita happens to walk up. And she like, wait a minute. We got a walking example of forgiveness right here. Tell them, girl. Tell them how you did it. And Rita's like, child, just set a goal. See it through. And keep your eyes on the prize. And she was speaking directly to June. It's amazing how everybody recognizes who June is. They could pick her out just from her eyes, except for the people that's her enemies. So Rita spotted June, and they gave each other the head nod as well. Serena, none the wiser. And she appeared wishing that she could see their faces and everything. And she wants to unveil them individually. You know, give them all a pat on the back. Saying, good job. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your wounds. That should be spicy. There's a whole lot of red pepper in one spot. I know this ghetto, but that's how I feel about this doggone episode. Then comes out the cake. I think it was 4 tiers. I will call this cake hideous. It was like burnt orange in color. Might have been red on your TV screen. It was like burnt orange with pink and green flowers on them. The color scheme of the wedding is sky blue. I didn't get it. So June said that whatever was in the cake was going to take 1 to 2 hours to kick in. Then they would go home and fall asleep. I said asleep. Did she say asleep? Like, why are we adding an extra step? Why can't they eat the fucking cake and die? Lawrence and Rita, they didn't eat their cakes, okay? Lawrence was forcing Naomi to eat hers. Like, eat the cake, anime. I don't want the cake, eat the cake, anime. Well, exactly, he told her, you eat like a bird, okay? So stop being shy. Eat up, girl. So June was going to leave with the posted handmaids, while Moira went back to the Red Center with the other handmaids. And they both told each other to be careful and make sure they are asleep. Why are we putting them asleep? Why the fuck are they going asleep? I cannot with this episode. I just simply cannot. Maybe it's because they only had switchblades. And I'm for real, those were switchblades, y'all. There wasn't no butcher knives. There wasn't no machetes. They was switchblades. They had 3-inch blades. Switchblades. And in order to make the doggone, make sure that they die for real, or they can't have them fighting back, they want them to go to sleep. But that don't make sense. Just put fucking poison in the cake. That should have killed them. The fuck? They giving them Ambien instead of cyanide. It don't make no doggone sense. Anyway, child, the handmaids separate, and for some reason June goes a different direction than the other handmaids walks, and she walks right into Lydia, who's talking to Serena Joy. She's supposed to have her ass in DC. Now, she notices June. Didn't even look her directly in the face. You know, June turned away from her quickly, but she recognized that was June, okay? Lydia goes out to even further to even say, hey, June. And she started following her through the crowd. Aunt Phoebe was able to slip June away. Somehow June ended up back in the reception hall, right behind Nick. Every time she see him, takes her fucking breath away. Lawrence walked past her as well, right into Lydia. Looked at her, kept walking. She tell him, June Osborne is here. Lawrence like, you tripping, girl. June is in Alaska. Right then, Aunt Phoebe came up and distracted Lydia from the conversation and says, you know what? She tired. She done had a long trip. She need to get some food in her system and rest. And Lawrence like, yeah, get her some food because she hallucinating. So Phoebe tell her guardian, go and get our Lydia some steak and a little wine, and do not forget the cake. Okay, so Serena Joy gets carried over the threshold by Wharton when they walk into their new house in Gilead. And for a wedding gift, she gets a fresh, fertile handmaid. Serena's like, oh no sir, that's not what we're doing here. I'm fertile. We do not need a handmaid. I don't want a handmaid. We will not have a handmaid. Serena, baby girl, you forgot where you was at. Your new house is in Gilead, not New Bethlehem. And Wharton is like, you might be fertile, okay, but you just one woman. We said that we were going to have a goo gob of kids, okay? And we need bodies to make that happen. It's God's will. Serena tried to get the girl to run. Hey, run out of this house and don't come back. Run where? Run where and never come back. Wharton say to her, run to your damn room. That's where you run to your room. He turned to Serena and she is bawling. I was so stupid. I was so stupid to do this again. Wharton is like, woman, what the hell is wrong with you? I trusted you. I believed you were different, but you're just like the rest of them. That the same speech that June was giving doggone Nick. Her and her twin. But if Wharton had had a table in front of him again, he would have shut the damn table again. But instead, he screamed, enough! Sounded just like the winds from the Wizard of Oz. All I'm thinking is, how long does it take this stuff to kick in? Ain't they supposed to be asleep by now? Wharton looked like her. I have molded my ways to fit the man that you thought I should be. I have indulged into your entitled ass behavior, but what I will not do is turn my back on God. Serena say, you think God wants this abomination of a marriage? Wharton calmed the fuck down. That's when you should be wary, girl, when he calmed down. He says, you have deceived me. Okay. Then Noah starts to cry. She go grab him and try to leave, and Wharton say, no, that's the day. He had the guardian block the door and say, I forbid you to go. You are my wife now. He snapped his little finger and everything. Guardian stood tall, and then he's like, you under my... Serena got ballsy. Under your what? Under your what? Your rules? What you gonna do? And I'm sitting here thinking, they ain't fell asleep yet. I was just like, they ain't fell asleep yet. They had the most cake, the biggest slices, right? She said, what you gonna do? Cut off my finger? Beat me with a belt? I've been there, done that, and I survived, and I will survive you. Okay? He's like, how dare you? I am a good man and a good husband. I am nothing to survive, right? She said, you can't be a good man. You're a commander. He tell the guardian, you know what? Let her go. Let her go. And I'm thinking, as soon as she walk out that door, she should drop fucking asleep. Not dead because it wasn't poison. She should fall fucking asleep. She ate a full cake, right? I got so annoyed. I got off of her, and I think I talked to TR when he was in Instagram, and I was like, what the hell? What is going on? Their whole agenda was to make them fall asleep. Why not just kill them with the powdery shit? They could have put anthrax, anything in there. They put them to sleep. And the Guardians, they wasn't eating cake. The Guardians should still be all over doggone Gilead. I swear this is annoying me. Speaking of annoying, our Lydia. She's sitting there eating her dinner. She's about to eat her little cake up. And she noticed one on the floor. And she was like, who's sitting over there? And the Guardian tell her the handmaids were. So she walked over there. She looked down on the floor and realized that it was cake. All on the floors. All under the seats. I keep getting the sauce on my finger. So she knew something was off. She rushed back to the Red Center. And the guards, one of the guards that was there, sleep. Oh no, what happened to the guards that was outside? The aunt, sleep. Phoebe tried to draw her away from the girls, but Our Lady was certain something was afoot. So June and the other handmaids, I got a lot of red pepper on this stuff, boy. I like red pepper on my fries. Anyway, June and the other handmaids head back to their homes, while June most likely was going to Belle's house. How the hell June know where Belle lived? I don't know. Belle wasn't even supposed to live there. He's supposed to be a visitor from D.C. Did I just put doggone barbecue sauce on my hair? Oh, I didn't. Okay, anywho. Yeah, so Aunt Lydia, she was walking down the hallway, and Aunt Phoebe was walking behind her, approaching her quickly, helped her little switchblade out in her hand. And there was one guardian who was still awake, Peter. And they encountered him before Phoebe could do anything. So she went inside the quarters to find the women in bed, just like Phoebe said they were. She said they had been in bed for a good hour. And I'm looking like, why they got their bonnets on now? I mean, if I noticed that, Aunt Lydia should have picked up on that too, and she did. And she pulled back the sheet on one of them, and the other handmaid just like balled up like this, fully clothed. And I was like, where the fuck is Moira? Who bed was she lying in? Okay, June gets to Belle's house. The door is magically unlocked. They were off at the wedding. Surely they locked Janine in. But even if they made it back home, surely they locked the door. She walks into the living room and Belle is fast asleep. But as soon as the phone rang, he woke up. They gave him enough sleeping medicine. Took them an hour and two to knock them out. But enough sleeping medicine that was so weak that when the telephone rang, he wakes up. And you could clearly tell that he's being told what is going on. By who though? Because everybody's supposed to be knocked the hell out. Aunt Lydia ain't called nobody. Who calling him to let him know? He turned around and June was standing right by him. And he said, June Osborne. And she said, nice to meet you. And stabbed him in the eye. Now, as short as that fucking switchblade was, y'all, there is no way that should have killed him. Maybe damaged his eye, blinded him, pulled out his eyeball out of socket. But not killed him. As short as that blade was. Maybe if it went through the temple, carotid artery, jugular veins, okay. I know people who have gunshots to the eye and it didn't kill them. It's possible. I'm not saying it's not possible. Because you can puncture the damn eye, and if you puncture it deep enough and it gets to that brain, you could die. But not the way she did it. And it wouldn't have been that quick either. Wouldn't have been that quick. Anyway, June sits down and starts to drink Belle's liquor. And footsteps start to approach. She don't run. She don't budge. Maybe she thinks the wife. But no, it was Janine. Janine walked up and said, thanks. We go back over to the Red Center. Aunt Lydia get him the blues. She got them all down on their knees, spewing chastisement at the wicked. She know that they've done. Moira is right along with them, but Aunt Lydia don't seem to notice her. She don't seem to single her out. Phoebe is standing in the background, all tearful. What you crying for? All the women have knives, right? Take her ass out. Take out Peter too. Okay. She had the guardian Peter snatch up one of the girls and put a gun to her head and say to Phoebe, you ain't got to lie, Craig. What did you do? Why they not eating their cake? What's really going on? Moira jumped up and tell Lydia, get the fuck away from her. Okay. Now the guardian, he sucks ass too, because he was supposed to handle Moira, but he seemed scared. She looked at Moira and said, who the fuck is you? Me and Moira was like, you don't remember me? How many black women have escaped from the Red Center under your watch, Aunt Lydia? You should remember that. You should remember that, especially her being the first person to escape from the Red Center. You don't remember her. But Moira's like, why do you care? My name wasn't the only thing that you stole from me. But if you must know, my name is Moira, bitch. Okay. Aunt Lydia's like, you're working with her. She was like, who? I knew she was here. Where is she? Everybody's scared and timid down on the floor, and I just don't get it because y'all all supposed to have weapons. She said, where is June Osborne? Tell me, because I know I will not hesitate to take a motherfucking traitor out, okay? She didn't curse, but I did. But June is like, I'm right here. She sashayed Shantae on in her. And Lydia's like, you did this. June say, nah. That's your bad. You did this. You are the one who trained us to be like this, okay? But then June says, but I think you should be forgiven. And there she go, making the decision for everybody else again. Because she know what's in Aunt Lydia's heart. She know Aunt Lydia is a good person. Get the fuck out of here, okay? Now the guardian, he got his gun trained on June now. But he's allowing June to sashay her ass up to Aunt Lydia. As he keeps backing away, he almost tripped and fell over the goddamn handmaids. And none of them jumped on his back. None of them did anything. You one man with one gun. Aunt Lydia's like, bitch, you don't know me. You don't tell me what's on my damn heart or God's. Keep that his name out your mouth, right? So June say, you right. But I know you guided by God. I know you don't want this for us. I know you want women. You have a God that wants women to be empowered. Women like you. Then Janine sachets on in too. They hurt us. Janine, she hurt you. They raped us. They took your whole damn eye, girl. They took some tongues of some other people, some fingers, and a whole lot of other body parts. Some other things other than your coochie, okay? But she says, I only meant to save y'all. I only meant to save my girls. So Janine is like, then let us go. I thought you wanted your kid back too, Janine. Ain't that what you told I let it do first? Get my damn daughter. Now you like, just let us go. So she had Peter put down the gun. He obliged. And she turned around and apologized to Janine. I'm so sorry for hurting you. I'm sorry I hurt you. It sounded just like that. And they fucking hugged it out. I know you fucked me up. You tortured me and everything up. But get the fuck out of here. This is such bullshit. This entire fucking episode is such bullshit. I am so glad we only got 2 more to go. And then Peter, he just walked the fuck out. They didn't stop him. He just walked on out. This is such a bullshit episode that I know it's supposed to be inspiring, because then we see all the little montage of the different handmaids walking up to their commanders who are sleeping in the bed and killing them. Well, we saw 2 people do it. And then we see Janine and Moira and June. They all running down the streets of Gilead. They running into the darkness or out of the darkness. I forgot which one June said. Aunt Lydia inside the red tent falling to her knees, begging for God's mercy. And I'm like, where are these women going? Because I remember when Moira escaped, she had to get on the train, plane, in the automobile. Where they going? The border ain't close. They in Boston, so they at least 6 hours away from the border now. The border ain't close. And if they even did go to the train station, it's to have some other guardians there on the train. Where y'all going? Mayday already said they not coming to get them. Where they going? The closest place is New Bethlehem. Is that where they finna go? Where's Rita? She's still there. She ain't take off running. What was the point of Lawrence having Naomi take the damn eat the cake? What was the point of him having her eat the cake if she wasn't gonna get killed? They didn't have a handmaid to kill her. Why'd you force Naomi to eat the cake? This was a dumbass episode. Let me finish eating my fucking fries. Y'all have a good day. Have a good night. I guess I'll give y'all episode 9 tomorrow. We do this old damn live of the final on Tuesday. And hopefully I might have to keep my mic off, because if I keep my mic on this like this, I'm gonna be talking mad shit throughout that whole damn episode. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.